guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm sharing three dollar store DIYs. So let's get started. The very first one is this tin. I picked it up in the kitchen section of our Dollarama. It was $4 and it has a lid. I also picked up these napkins in the party section of the dollar store for $1.25. I really like the flower pattern on it. I thought it kind of looked like vintage farmhouse vintage, and I wanted to wrap this tin with it. I cut the little it's got like little holes on it all around, so I cut that off just so I have a solid piece. And you also want to separate it, take the bottom of the napkin off, the white part. I'm going to be using Mod Podge to glue the napkin on. I don't mind the look of this tin. I do like the little bit of the galvanized look that it has, but I wasn't crazy about the label that was on it. And I have so much of galvanized stuff that I wanted to give this one a little bit of a softer look. And I thought that this napkin really did the trick. I did press down so all the little edges that are raised do show through as well. I do this on the bottom and then I let it dry completely, and I finish it on the top as well with the Mod Podge. But I'm not gonna bore you with all the little Mod Podge painting. So I'm just showing you how I glue it on, and then we move on to the lid. I would also like to mention that these DIYs or this video is part of a collaboration that is put on by Lisa from Lisa and Company, and she had invited three of us to join her. So we've got Sandra from the Schwoman's Nest, Antoinette from the Simply Yet Chic, and also Lisa, the hostess from Lisa and Company, and myself. If you didn't know, all four of us live in Ontario, Canada, and currently Ontario, Canada is under lockdown, and you cannot purchase anything other than essentials. Last time when there was a lockdown, dollar store was fully open, but this time around you can only buy essentials, meaning like craft supplies, all the neat things that we would buy for DIYs are blocked off, and you cannot purchase them. So Lisa thought it would be fun to go to the dollar store, pick up items that are available, and create something. So that is what we did. So this one had come from the kitchen. Now, it is kind of funny because every dollar store has a different items that they consider essential. So it'll be fun to see what all of us had bought and what are we going to do with it. I was lucky enough to find this tin. Like I said, it was in their kitchen section, and apparently that is essential, as well as the napkins. Even though we can have parties, we are able to buy party supplies. So make sure you check out the playlist, which will be linked down below, as well as Lisa's channel. So now I move on to painting the lid, and I wanted to some of that brown to show through, so I'm putting a lighter coat of dark gray, and then I'm going to dry brush white acrylic paint over top of that. I have also glued a large bead that I had in my craft supplies. It's purple, so I will be painting that as well. So here is the tin. I think it turned out so pretty, and there are so many different uses for it. I'm thinking about keeping some of my gardening seeds in there, but you can, like I said, put anything in there. Next project is another one from the kitchen section. It is a burner lid, and so like I said, I picked it up from the kitchen section, and originally I was going to paint it. Now I don't have any painter's tape, and that is not an essential, so I could not buy one. I could order it from Home Depot and do a curbside pickup, but didn't want to go into so much detailed work. So I am just using tape to tape it on, and then I'm going to paint different colors. So I mixed up some light beige and brown just to give me a bit of a darker beige, and I did the top and bottom in that color, and then I moved on to painting the middle in gray. Now I was not crazy with the way the paint was sticking on it. It seemed like I would need a lot of coats to get it fully covered. So I had decided not to go ahead with the paint, which you will see in a minute, and I end up wiping it off. And I took this butcher or wrapping paper that I had and decided to tape bottom and top in with this. I just thought it would give it a nicer look, which I did like, and I was using tacky glue to glue it on. Now for the middle, I have decided to use the blue vinyl that I had picked up at Dollar Tree for my Cricut machine a while ago, and ended up cutting a piece to go right in the middle. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, my name is Sonja, and this is my DIY channel where you will find dollar store DIYs, furniture upcycles, trash treasure makeovers. So I would love it if you considered subscribing, pressing the notification bell so you don't miss out any of my future uploads. And if you're feeling adventurous, make sure you head on over to my description box where you will find links to my other channels as well. Now that I had glued the vinyl down as well, I end up dry brushing Athenian black from Annie Sloan chalk paint. The only reason why I'm using this chalk paint in black instead of the acrylic is because I ran out of black acrylic paint, and that is not an essential. So I loved the way the black looked on the paper, but I did not love it the way it looked on vinyl, and I found vinyl a little too bright. So I ended up removing it and decided just to fill in the middle with the same paper that was on the top and bottom. Once I had it glued on, I just brushed on the black paint again just to blend it all in so it looks like it's one piece. And once I was finished with the dark, I went over it with some of that gray that I had left over from painting it, and then I also ended up adding a little bit of white on it as well. So once it was all dry, I went in with my chalk marker and just traced out what I wanted to say, which was home. And then I go over with that Athenian black and I paintbrush just to, because the chalk marker wasn't really showing up all that much, so I wanted to the lettering, the word to stand out more, so I ended up going over it with black paint. And then the last thing that I do is glue on the rope to the back so I'm able to hang it. I think this turned out really nice. It is that vintage farmhouse, French farmhouse, country farmhouse look that I've been loving. And I think it looks great with this tin. So for my last project, I am going to be using a plunger, and well, not the whole plunger, but more or less the wood part of the plunger, to create a stand that will hold my home sign that I just made. So the first thing that I do is take off the rubber part of the plunger and cut off that end that was inside of it, because I just wanted to have two smooth ends. I just used my Dollar Store and More little handy saw to cut it off. Once it was off, I just sanded it down just to smooth it out. Then I take a piece of wood, just a scrap wood that I had on hand, and find a middle point in it. And then I drill a screw through it, and then I flip it over because I realized that the other side was much nicer. And then I screwed the top to the bottom. You could also use wood glue or even hot glue if you wanted to do it. The hot glue would be probably the fastest, maybe not the most securest, but the fastest. Once it was on there, I move on to painting the piece, and I paint the whole piece with the acrylic white. And when that was on and dried, I paint a dry brush a gray, just a dark gray on it, just to kind of give it that antique farmhouse look. And then I add a little hook to it. I'm actually just pre-drilling a hole so I can just screw that in. And I did not have my drill, I just used a screw gun and a screw to make a hole, and then I just screwed that in there. I got those hooks at Dollar Tree a while back. And then the last thing that I do is wrap a piece of rope all around, just more as a decorative piece at the bottom. I absolutely love the way this turned out. I think it's a great piece to hold my sign, but you can also hang a picture on it, greenery, or whatever you'd like. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you check out Lisa's channel as well as the playlist, and don't forget to press the subscribe button, and I will see you all in my next video. Thanks for watching.